glad to see you here.
Check. You know, I've been really busy, and I haven't had a lot of time to prepare my remarks. Here they are right here, just about 2 minutes before. But you know, I have some things I want to say. I will say them. I don't know what upsets me more about what has been happening. I was trying to think, you know, what I wanted to say today. What is most upsetting? It's a toss-up. One of the things that upsets me a great deal is I have faculty colleagues who were invited to come here and bring their families here and start lives here and buy homes here. Told that they have tenure-track positions. And then they got a letter in the mailbox that said, you're gone, you're terminated. That bothers me a great deal. But then what also bothers me is my colleagues who have been here for 10, 20, and 30 years, who have been told not start looking for another job because we're going to not have your program 2 or 3 years from now, but you're gone on June 30th of this year. That bothers me a lot. Another toss-up is my students. You know, my students who had signed up for classes that they need to graduate, that they want to take, that have been taken off the schedule with no answers about how they are going to get their degrees. That bothers me. But I think what bothers me the most is that the faculty who have been here for 10, 20, 30 years, pouring their lives into this fine university, have been completely shut out of this entire process. It is unacceptable. Unconscionable. Let's hear it. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unconscionable. Unacceptable. Unconscionable. There's been a whole lack of foresight and any kind of plan in this whole endeavor. Let me tell you how this happened when we were so-called being consulted. You know, we were saying, like, well, which programs are you thinking about eliminating? Well, you don't need to know that. You know? So we're like, well, how are we going to define a program area if we don't know which programs are being talked about? That's for us to know. So we had to get our attorney to say, you have to tell them what you're talking about. So after we, you know, spent all this money and all this time, we finally go in, and we're not given a piece of paper. We're not asked, you know, what do you think about this? It's put on an overhead, so we can't even take the piece of paper with us. And let me tell you, that day is a flashbulb memory in my mind, because what they put up on the overhead was 70 programs long. It had no more physics. It had no more philosophy, no more religion, no more geography, on and on and on. Biology programs, graduate programs, cut. And my palms sweated and my stomach got nauseous because I could not believe this. And you know what I did after that meeting? I went to my computer and I looked up our peer institutes, and I'm like, are there universities that don't have physics? No! All of our peer institutions have degrees in physics. They all have degrees in French. They all have degrees in philosophies. I really think it's an attack on F's. We are making a difference. We're being heard. Little by little, our input is mattering. There is still going to be at least a semblance of physics here. There is still going to be philosophy. The thing that bothers me the most is the lack of faculty input. Do you know how I, the president of the collective bargaining agent, found out that our faculty are going to be laid off in Price Lab? Emily Christensen, a newspaper reporter, called me to ask about it. I'm like, I haven't heard anything about that. No faculty had heard anything about that, but the press was informed. There have been at least two press conferences where the press has been invited and the doors have been locked, students turned away, faculty turned away by security guards. That is not the way universities work. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unconscionable. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unconscionable. Unconscionable. Thank you for coming here today. You being here is not only your right. we've all benefited from this great university. Our town has benefited